welcome back to another weekly Monday live. I missed you guys. I was not here last week. It's been a lot of stuff to come up, but I'm really glad to be back this week. Um, what games are you guys playing? I've been mostly playing South of Midnight, and I actually really like it. I know it has gotten a lot of hate and stuff, but so far I'm really liking it. I think I'm on chapter like 4 or 5 or something like that. Um, but I'm really liking it. I mean, there's some like weird stuff with the combat that I wish was a little better, but other than that, the story is really fun, and I think it's a really unique game. So, um, yeah. Since I missed last week, we have a lot of catching up to do. So, we are probably going to just hop right into the news. Um, the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and we have talked about this a little bit on my channel, maybe like the last live or live before that, but we talked about how Xbox is going to be making this handheld console. Well, seems like it is now on hold. So that's kind of sucky, but then again, I don't know if you guys remember at all. A couple, well, when we talked about it a couple weeks ago, it was kind of just like the Rogue Ally, but just slapping Xbox's name on it. So it didn't really seem like it was too innovative, which was kind of annoying. So I wonder if they got like backlash on it or something, and now they're like, oh, hold on, like we actually need to make this a little bit better. Hey everyone in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing? So yeah, it's kind of disappointing. But let's see what this has to say. I didn't read in. I don't think I did, or maybe I did. I don't know. But let's see what they have to say. So it says Microsoft reportedly still plans to create a handheld Xbox device, but has put production on hold to improve performance first. On March 10th, Jez Corden of Windows Central claimed that an Xbox branded handheld was scheduled to launch later in 2025. Note how they said branded. Because I think that's where a lot of people got confused when we first started seeing this. Because it even said that, like, Xbox won't be... It won't, like, have Xbox exclusive games, if that makes sense. So that's something that the last article said as well. Microsoft reportedly worked with original entertainment manufacturer to produce the device under code name Keenan. And yeah, that's something we talked about. The report expected the handheld system to include the Microsoft Store, PC Game Pass, and the ability to install Steam. Which is like, it might as well just be a Steam Deck at that point, right? It's probably around the same price, or, well, I guess we don't know the price of this Xbox handheld yet, but it's probably gonna be about the same price, and if it is, then they're gonna have a hard time beating up the Steam Deck. Additionally, Microsoft is rumored to be working on its own first-party handheld device, targeting a 2027 release alongside 2027 console. That development is reportedly has been put on hold. So yeah, just basically sideline. You can see here, Microsoft still wants to build its own Xbox handheld in the future, but Microsoft has decided to prioritize its teams to improve Windows 11 gaming performance, which is good for PC players, right? Specifically for devices like the Asus partner device with Project Keenan. We understand that Keenan is targeting a launch for later this year. The hardware side is essentially finished, but there is a significant effort between Xbox and Windows teams to improve experience on the software side. So, yeah, it's unclear how much of gulf there is between what Microsoft wants from the final project, and saying that Corden believes that production for the Xbox Series X successor is still on track. As far as now, there hasn't been any layoffs as a result to the shift in focus. I'm really wondering how well this next handheld device is going to be. Um, or not even necessarily the handheld device, but the next console, especially considering that Xbox is shifting focus from hardware and going more into like a streaming thing, like with Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Xbox has in store the next couple years, and also who's still gonna be rocking with them, I should say. Um, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've kind of been enjoying Xbox games a little bit more. I know I said in the beginning of this live stream that I've been playing South of Midnight, and I've really liked that game, and I think it's good for them to kind of branch off into something new with trying to shift their focus to this Xbox Game Pass like streaming thing. And I've been liking it because I've been liking being able to play like wherever I want. I've been playing on my iPad, my TV, mainly on my PC, but that's just because performance is better on the PC. But I've been playing a lot of games through Game Pass, so it's been really well for me. Okay, so the next like little thing has to still do with Xbox. And I thought this was really interesting, um, especially what's it called, for like our retro fans or people who are fans of retro games. Um, they are about to announce or have announced some retro classics with Game Pass, which is really interesting. I think when I looked at this the first time, I kind of realized that I might not have played like a lot of Xbox retro games, because like all the retro games that like I think of that I played is like from the Sega Genesis or like GameCube, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. Because when I was like looking at this list like prior to the live, I was like, I didn't play a lot of these games. So let's see. And if you guys have played any of these games, definitely let me know in the chat. Um, but these are some of the games that they are going to be releasing. And honestly, when I look at this list, let me see if I played any of these. Mega Mania sounds familiar. But like these, I feel like they don't hit like old like PlayStation games. Because I feel like if I was like gonna look at like old PlayStation games, I probably would recognize like almost all of them. Um, no, I don't. I really feel like I have not played any of these. I can't find any ones that I played, but I mean, it's still cool though. Um, I'd be interested to see what games, like what year these games came out in. But they're definitely taking off after PlayStation a bit, just because PlayStation also has their own like little retro category. Yeah, I don't know any of these either. But if it's included in Game Pass, I'm really probably gonna look into them, because I have a big thing for retro games. As I've said multiple times, I collect them and stuff like that. The only thing is, sometimes with retro games, I feel like it's harder to play on newer gen consoles just because of like the controller mechanics and stuff like that. I remember PlayStation, or I remember the first time I played a retro game, it was either on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, but I was trying to play, I'm pretty sure it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. But it was just like so wonky. The controls were so bad. Um, and it wasn't until they released the remaster or the definitive edition that I could actually play, and the controls felt better. But we all know the definitive edition was kind of trash. So you win some, you lose some. But they really need to do better with the mechanics on retro games or in retro games. And I know it's probably a little hard to do because it was different controllers and stuff like that. But I think that's the one downside. Um, how much is Game Pass right now? Do you know? The one. So let me double check. But I know I had the Ultimate Edition. I'm pretty sure that was $20. Um, I can double check for you though, really quick. We could pull it up. Mm, Game Pass. Okay. So for a while, I was just using PC Game Pass. So that's $11.99 a month, and then $1 for the first, or um, $1 for the first 14 days, and then the Ultimate is what I have right now, and that's $19.99 a month. So I don't think it's terrible. I do think you get a lot with this Ultimate. It's nice that you can. I think with the Ultimate you could just play it whatever. I don't. You can't do that with the PC. And then they also have the core. Like if you just have the console, these are different tiers. So you have the $9.99 a month core, 14.99 for standard, and then Ultimate's for same. And then yeah, Ultimate you can also play on PC and console. Um, yeah, San Andreas definitely should have got a better remaster. If any GTA game should have had a good remaster, it should have been Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They really did it dirty. I will never forgive them for the way they handled that because they passed it to another company to handle. And it's like that's your like golden game right there. Like GTA San Andreas is still like a lot of people's favorite GTA. So it's kind of sad how they handled it. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. And they have a lot of games on the Xbox Game Pass. So it's like what I was doing for a while was I was just like buying it every now and then. Like I know I was mentioning on my live before that I played what's it called? Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I played it on Game Pass and then I turned my Game Pass off. So I would just like kind of turn it on and off whenever I wanted to. Um, so I think it's pretty convenient, and then you don't need to buy an Xbox console. Um, yeah, yeah. GTA San Andreas is a good game. Um, okay. On to our next story. Um, so The Last of Us, Naughty Dog. The Last of Us developer Naughty Dog is working on a second unannounced game other than Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Neil Druckmann confirms. I wonder if that's. So this is going to be the whole name Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. I don't know why for a while I just thought it was going to be just Intergalactic, but hey, whatever. Um, so, Naughty Dog chief Neil Druckmann has revealed the studio has a secret, unannounced second game in the works other than Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet. In an interview with Press X to Continue podcast, Druckmann, and he goes on so many like different podcasts. I feel like just within the last few months, he's been like really promoting this intergalactic game. He has been really selling it. Um, So, he discussed ongoing roles as Sony-owned Naughty Dog on Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Druckmann works with two game directors, Matthew Gallant and Kurt Margano. I think that's how you pronounce it. And is co-writing the game with narrative director Claire Carr, or Claire Carey. Druckmann did not say which director is working on the second game. However, there's another game that's being worked on at Naughty Dog where I am more of a producer role and I get to mentor and watch the other teams and give feedback and be like the executive in the room, he said. I enjoy all these roles and the fact I jump between one to the next, it makes my job very exciting and will always feel fresh. I'm never bored. Um, so even as they say, it's unclear which stage of the game is in production. Intergalactic is announced, so you'd imagine it's further along, but what is the second game? There are some obvious candidates. Could it be The Last of Us 3? Druckmann has expressed his uncertainty in the past about being able to make this game, but I'm sure some of you probably know my feelings about that. I think it's crazy for them to not make a third The Last of Us, but hey, and I have some more to say about that in a bit, but he has said he has an ending in mind for what the game would be based on Druckmann's comments about having more producer role in the mystery game. It does sound like it's The Last of Us 3. As you'd imagine, he'd want to be heavily involved and take the director role for that game. Alternatively, it could be another Uncharted game. There hasn't been a brand new Uncharted game since 2017, The Lost Legacy. Could it finally be time for a return? And then it could be a whole new game, basically. So, I'd love to know what you guys think. That doesn't sound like their speed should have stayed on The Last of Us 3, but hey, out of the box, I guess. Yeah. I feel like I really, really, really want to like Intergalactic. I mean, I guess I can't say too much about it because we don't know really anything about it besides the trailers that we've seen. I do think Naughty Dog is a really great company. I think they've always, for a while, they were my favorite gaming company because I really liked Jack and Dexter, and then Uncharted was also my favorite game for a while. So I don't really know. I really think, like, why would it not be The Last of Us 3? Like, they had to, like, finish that out before they start pumping out these new games. It would be crazy not to make another one to finish it out because I don't know if you guys played The Last of Us 2, but I mean, I feel like it could end that way, but it'd be very, very, very unsatisfying. I don't want to give any spoilers for anybody who hasn't played the second game, but it would be really kind of lackluster if it was to finish like that, because they had to just put it to a good end. Don't half it. you know. I know Neil Druckmann keeps saying that the story can just end wherever, and I really don't think it can. I think we need to see an end to the outbreak, even if it is like fast forwarding years into the future, and I'd be really mad if they didn't. And like I said, I don't think it's going to be Uncharted. It'd be cool if it was Jack and Dexter. I don't think it is. But all the games are good. We just need to finish it out. I'd be good with one more game. We don't need to draw it out. Just one more game. I also don't think we should draw out Uncharted. Sorry. Because I think that game had a perfect ending. Had 4 or 5 games. I don't think they need to draw it out anymore. Yeah, it used to be my favorite dev too, besides Rockstar till now. Yeah, Rockstar's really good too. I think the reason why I don't know if Rockstar is my favorite company is because I just think it's too mainstream. I don't know if it's just me trying to like be different or whatever, but like I always try to like pick of like companies that are doing stuff unique and like are just different. Maybe like not necessarily smaller companies, but I think they've just gotten too big and too mainstream, and it's like probably a lot of people's favorite company. But honestly, right now I don't even think I have one because a lot of them aren't even putting out games. I want to start talking more about like indie games and stuff like that. I might do that in the future. So if you guys are into that or interested in that, let me know. Because really these AAA companies, it seems like they're not doing anything. It really seems like they're not doing anything. Good point. They're way too mainstream. Now I think the fame went to their head. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I feel like that's like saying like, oh, Kim Kardashian is my favorite celebrity or something. Like I just feel like they're just too wide known. And I want to kind of niche it down a bit. They do make some really good games, though. I would still say they're still one of my favorites. But I don't know about my favorite anymore. Um, I can't stand it when they kill a game series by dragging it on and ruining the whole thing with a bad ending. Yeah, and that's basically what happened with Jack and Dexter. And that's why I'm very hesitant when I say I want another Jack and Dexter game, because they made three really good ones. They made a good spinoff, but then they made a fourth Jack and Dexter, and it was bad. So I'm like, if y'all gonna just make another bad games, then we don't need it, you know. Um, yeah, I would be interested in indie game conversation. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely. If I see like good ones, I'll talk about them more because I never know um if you guys would like that or not. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on them. I wonder if a lot of AAA studios are scared to make new IPs. 1,000%. 1,000%. They're scared to make new IPs, and I have stuff to back that up. I mean, I know I bring this up a lot on my lives, but like, the game. Oh yeah, Concord. That's a perfect example. I bring up Concord a lot because it's a really good example of how these big AAA game companies invest so much money into these games just to be like copy and paste. Because I mean, that's pretty much what they did with Concord. They saw that live service like shooter games are really really in, so they're like, oh, let's make a live shooter game. But the problem is it wasn't free to play. So I think that was one of their biggest downfalls. Is it wasn't free to play. But let's make a live service shooter game and everybody's gonna like it, but nobody liked it. I don't think really a lot of people didn't really like anything about it. I mean, I heard some good things about like the gameplay, but a lot of people hated like the concept and the characters and stuff like that, and it just felt overdone. So now it is a lot of copy and paste, and that's the sad part about today's industry. It's a lot of copy and paste and nothing's new. I would like to see more like Jack and Dexter style gaming though, because everything is so serious and heavy nowadays. I would like to see more cartoony, because it could still be good, like cartoony type, not as serious and heavy. I would like to see that more, but a lot of people don't want to take a chance on that. That's part of the reason too why I really liked South of Midnight, because I really thought it is really different, but a lot of people didn't like it. I like it though. Yeah, let a good series end on a good note, but unfortunately that's not profitable. They're really there are nobody things out of the box anymore. Not the big dogs anyway. Yeah, no, there's nothing outside the box now. It sucks. And it's like, on one hand, I get what they're trying to do. Because it is like really big companies and stuff like that. Sorry, I saw that at the corner of my eye. R.I.P. Foam Stars. I remember when that was announced on the PlayStation State of Play, and everybody was like, "What is this?" That caught me off guard. Sorry, that's funny. But what was I saying? Oh, I get what they're trying to do with the like making things that everybody wants to see, because they do invest a lot of money into making big games, but then they have to be outside the box, like you said. But they don't want to take a chance, and it's sad. To your point, I think the culture is just burned out of all the same style games over and over. 1,000%. I'm waiting on a new Sly or a reboot. Now, I really think they can pull off Sly Cooper, because it's not as story heavy as Jack and Dexter. I mean, it is, but it's not. I mean, there like you can make a new concept really easily out of Sly Cooper, because I mean, it's basically just like a raccoon trying to steal something. That's how it is in all the games, and maybe it is like an overarching story or whatever. But I feel like it'd be way easier to make another Sly Cooper than it would be to make another Jack and Dexter. I think they tried to make another Sly Cooper, but like it didn't work out. But I mean, I think they could do it. It almost reminds me of like Ratchet and Clank. they've been remaking Ratchet and Clank a whole lot, and it's still doing well. So, but I'm hoping that these, what's it called, like everything that these companies have had to go through the last couple to a few years or whatever, I really hope that they're learning their lesson, and then this next console generation or even the end of this one, they will start making bangers. I don't think that we are going to be in this dry spot for too long. At least I hope not. Um, Speaking of retro, as you mentioned, I wish they brought back Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Crash Bandicoot. It's funny you say that. I was never really like the biggest fan of Crash Bandicoot. I played it, but I feel like it was like rage bait for me, to be honest, because I would lose, and then like I would keep trying to play over and over. But like it made me mad a lot. But Crash is that was also by Naughty Dog, I think. Um, that'd be really surprising if that was something that they were working on, though. All right. So another thing that I have been talking about previously, I think I talked about it on my last live, about how Fortnite got taken off of the Apple App Store because basically they didn't want to pay like a standard rate of 30% to be on the App Store. So they got kicked off of it, and it has been a battle for years at this point. Um, but Fortnite is officially back on the US Apple Store. I'm not sure, because it was also banned in like the UK. It was banned in a couple countries, but now it's back on the App Store in the US. Um, so Fortnite has made its way, or made its long-awaited return to the US Apple Store for iPhone and iPad users. Developer Epic Games shared and celebrated the news with a post on Twitter, letting mobile gaming fans know that they can finally go back to playing its massively popular Battle Royale experience after 5 years of waiting. The new Fortnite iOS store page is back the same as it was the day it left in 2020, though its description now starts with a new message: Fortnite is back. So yeah, that's pretty much the tweet that they said. At the time of the story's publication, some US Apple users may have trouble searching for Fortnite through the app itself, though Epic says this will change soon. In the meantime, you can click here to see if its revived store page. For those in the EU, you can also download Fortnite through the Epic Games Store and Alt Store. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think the Fortnite Games Store was always still available. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. But I believe that you could always still download it through that way. It was just taken off, like the iOS store. I could be wrong. Don't quote me, but I don't know. Fortnite's reappearance on iOS devices like the iPad and iPhone brings an end to the much drama surrounding Epic and Apple. It started in August 2020, and yeah, that's pretty much what I said already. But yeah, it's been a long battle. I don't know if they ever like said what, like how they got back to the App Store or whatever. I mean, I'm assuming they just reached some kind of agreement, you know. But it is really crazy, and it's really crazy how this game is still doing numbers to this day. Because I mean, look at this article: Fortnite tops iPhone chart following App Store return, and it's just crazy because Fortnite has been on top of it for so long. Like they get so many players. I've never been a huge fan of this game, to be honest, but it's just crazy. Fortnite's return to iPhone and iPad has seen the game storm from the top of the Apple Store charts, at least in the US, where Epic Games Battle Royale is finally available once again. The return of Fortnite to the iOS App Store this week follows 5-year hiatus during which Epic Games and Apple fought a lengthy legal battle, which is crazy that it has to go that far. Fortnite was booted from the Apple. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. Wait. Apple Store worldwide back in 2020 after Epic Games deliberately added its payment system into the game that bypassed Apple's usual 30% cut. 5 years and more than $1 billion of missed revenue later, Fortnite is back and its alternative payment system remains in place. So they won, I guess. That's crazy. It must still be something though in favor of Apple because I can't see them just like giving up and just being like, whatever, like you don't have to pay us this rate. Um, you could just come back. It must be something more to it, but yeah, it's crazy to see that they won it. Um, I can never play Fortnite on mobile. Yeah, I feel like the only way I could play on like either iPad or iPhone, I have to have a controller hooked up to it. I used to have it's over there. I can't grab it right now, but that controller that like hooks onto the iPhone, I have to get a new one though because I upgraded my iPhone so the port doesn't work anymore. But the only way I can do it is if I have a controller hooked up. Um iPad kids gotta go crazy for real. They love them some Fortnite. They probably paid up. Yeah, something definitely happened. I mean, I'm not a lawyer or into legal stuff at all, but seems like Fortnite still came on top, which is crazy. Um, I wasn't a fan, but I slowly became one. It could be a possibility that they're charging more for V-Bucks on Apple devices. Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility too. Um, Still very interesting though. Yeah, I don't know. I tried Fortnite for a bit. I never really could get into it though, to be honest. Um, I do think they're very innovative, and I do think they do a good job at like keeping players interested in their like what's the word like motto. I think it's really good because, like I said, they've been on top for so long. I think they're doing good with what's it called like the emotes and like the characters they bring in. I think that's what's making them stay on top and what's making them money. Um, I don't like be. Nah, I don't know if I'll say I don't like battle royale type games. I think it's just not my first choice. I don't want to say I don't like them. It's just not my first choice. I played a little bit of like Warzone, but I just couldn't get too into it. Like I'll play it like if I have a friend that wants to play it or something, but I just wouldn't go out of my way to like play it by myself if that makes sense. It is definitely oversaturated. I mean, I think that goes back to the point I was talking about earlier with like the live service type things. I think a lot of people are trying to copy that. I wouldn't be surprised if Concord either had a battle royale like version or update or something, or they added it later. I wouldn't be surprised because everybody's kind of jumping on the same bandwagon with that. And I just think leave that kind of stuff to the people who were doing it in like the early 2010s at this point because they're still rocking with us. I feel like a lot of them that came out around that time are still here because what you got Fortnite, you got Warzone, what's that one game called? I'm blanking on it. But the Call of Duty, not Call of Duty. I'm blanking on what it's called. But there's another really really big one. I can't think of the name, but I know it's like at least like three really big, like game companies that are still doing it, and they're still getting money for it. So just leave it to them. Okay. On to our next story. Yeah, leave it to the people who got success out of it for sure. I'm kind of gonna just talk about this really quick, but I just thought this was kind of funny. Mario Kart World began development on Switch 1 and suffered performance struggles until Switch 2 delay offered a ray of hope. So I don't know. I kind of found this funny because Mario Kart was one of those games that like took a really long time to come out with the second one, and they kept releasing updates, and it's like, y'all, just give us a new game at this point. Cause let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it was over like 10 years. Mario Kart 8. Oh yeah, it came out in 2014. And so it was one of those games that like was taking so long to come out, and then they just kept like putting out updates and stuff like that. So Switch 2 launch title Mario Kart World was originally in development more than 5 years ago, solely for the original Nintendo Switch. However, Nintendo has said its development team struggled to get Mario Kart World 24-player concept working on the aging Switch 1 hardware, to the point where it was faced with making major technological compromises. In the end, these companies were abandoned in favor of a new approach. As early 2020, Mario Kart World's developers say they had a rough idea of Nintendo Switch's two tech specs, and so began discussing a delay for the project onto Nintendo's next gen machine. So it's just funny that like they were saying, oh, it didn't work on the original Switch, so we're gonna push it back. And it kind of plays into the concept of a lot of people already saying that Mario Kart isn't, or not Mario Kart, but the Nintendo Switch isn't that powerful. So it's just kind of funny. Nintendo are pros at stalling. Yeah, and it's just, I really wish the Nintendo Switch was more powerful, because even like the new one that's about to come out, it's still not going to be that powerful, to be honest. It's going to be comparable. I think they said it was going to be comparable to the PS4, which is crazy, because you would think, Nintendo's based in Japan and stuff. They're really high tech. I'm surprised that they're not able to come up with something better. And I'm pretty sure it probably is due to the fact that it's also a handheld. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm surprised that they aren't able to come up with something a little bit better. But they did also leak, or someone on Twitter leaked the new PlayStation startup screen, which is kind of interesting. Wait, let me
and go to the main menu. Yeah. And go to the main menu.
One thing that I will say about Nintendo though is it seems like their stuff is always very like clean, to the point. It just seems very, I don't even know if the right word would be sophisticated, but just clean. The screen does look way better than the original Switch though, I'll tell you that.
Menu.
Oops. So very interesting. Yep, that's the new Switch. Am I getting the Switch 2? Not at launch. There's multiple reasons for that. I think it's expensive. I think there's not any games that I would want to like play at launch, if that makes sense. Honestly, I don't want to say I'm not the biggest fan of the Switch, but it's just not my first choice. So I'd probably just buy it. I don't know when it's gonna go on sale, but if I see a sale, I'd buy it. Or if there's a game that like I just really want to play on the Switch 2, then I'll buy it. But I'm pretty sure most games that are going to be coming out on the Switch 2 are also going to be on the Switch 1, at least for a while. Because really the only games that I really like on the Switch as of right now are like the Mario games, and that's just because they're fun party games. I also really like Luigi's Mansion. But honestly, I didn't even finish Luigi's Mansion 3. I have to go back to that, because I really like Luigi's Mansion. Or is it 3? I think, or no. It's like the reboot to like one of them. Wait, now I gotta see. I think it's 3. Wait. Oh no, it's Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I never finished that one. I did finish 3. So yeah, I really only like the Mario games, and then Animal Crossing. I think that's all I could think of off the top of my head. Now, if they were to release a new Animal Crossing, I would buy the new Switch. Yeah, the price is too high. Yeah, I think they're gonna be also releasing games on the um older Switch, so I think we'll be okay. But if you have money for the new Switch, by all means, I'm not saying don't get it. I still think it's gonna be a fine console. I just don't know if I'm gonna be buying it day one. Okay. I also wanted to talk a little bit more about Silent Hill F. We watched the channel maybe like a month or two ago on my channel. Or yeah, we watched this trailer a month or two ago on my channel. So Silent Hill F, a completely new title that people who have not played the series can enjoy. I'm actually really interested in this game, and I don't know if it's because I'm into like Japanese culture and stuff like that. I think when I saw the trailer, it had a lot of beautiful artwork and stuff. So I think I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. So it says Silent Hill F is not a sequel to any of existing Silent Hill games. Instead, much like Silent Hill 2, it will offer a standalone story independent from the series. That's coming from publisher Konami itself, which finally confirmed on Twitter that the latest installment of the horror series, which is usually, if not always, based on sleepy resort town or on East Coast America, will be a completely new title that people who have never played the series in Silent Hill F, or yeah, Silent Hill series can enjoy. One thing I hate about some of these articles, it just seems like they like just repeat themselves, and I'm like, can we just get to the point? And this approach is entirely new for Silent Hill, of course, while Silent Hill 1 and 3 and Silent Hill Origins are all connected other games, with Silent Hill 2 being particularly notable exception, have less tangible links to the town, and parts of Silent Hill 4, The Room, and Homecoming take place outside titular town together. Tyler, I hope I said that right. But Konami's statement does at least confirm once and for all that understanding Silent Hill F's 1960 Japanese setting will not be dependent on how much players know about the 26-year-old series. It's crazy that the series is that old. And we won't watch this whole thing. Yes, I'm 17 or older. Don't know if you guys are though. I'll probably wait till another Zelda game drops. That's perfectly understandable for real, because right now I'm not seeing much. I mean, I did like Donkey Kong Bonanza. I thought that looked pretty interesting. There was a couple games. There's like definitely nothing to make me like buy it. This game looks like it's crazy. I can only imagine when it actually comes. Look at that.
じゃないのよ。彼らだっていつか必ずあなたを裏切る。あなたが裏切り者と呼ばれたように。
I don't even play horror games like that, but I would play this.
天秤にかける価値があるかどうか。
I'd love a Japanese culture themed Silent Hill. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what this is. Have you guys played like any Silent Hill games? I haven't played a lot of them, but I have noticed a lot of them have like this like smoky like mist to them and stuff like that. They all kind of have the same look and feel.
自分の気持ちが自分で理解できない。
Is this gonna be a real release? I'm pretty sure. I think so. I do. I do think though it's still in like very, very early stages of development. So we don't have any release date or anything like that. This looked like Resident Evil 9. We're not Resident Evil 9. What am I talking about? Resident Evil 7. I was like loading for a second. I'm like, wait, not that. The one with the little girl. I'd play that. Ah. And the thing is too, there's been a lot of like Japanese style games that have been coming out, but this looks different because literally, and I know we've talked about this, but like the last couple Japanese games that has been like in the works or has come out is literally like, oh, somebody killed my dad or somebody killed this and I'm gonna go find and stop them. Because I mean that was like in Assassin's Creed, what was the new one? Why am I blanking on all these games? The new Assassin's Creed game. And then Ghost of Yote is coming out, and that's the same plot. So this looks like it could hopefully be different. I really, really hope it is, because I do not want another same plot. Silent Hill F takes us to 1960s Japan, where we'll follow Shimizu Hinako, a teenager struggling to under the pressure of expectations from her friends and family and society. The story was written by Ryan 07, creator of When They Cry visual novel series, as displayed at the beginning of the Japanese language reveal trailer back in March. It will be the first Silent Hill game to get an 18 plus rating certification in Japan. That's weird. I wonder why that is, because you would think they all kind of do the same thing, so I wonder what makes this one different. As the game is still in active development, kind of like I said, certification is subject to change, but Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 and Silent Hill The Room all secured Zero C. That's for people who that's for people aged 15 and older, while other games in the series developed outside of Japan were typically rated 0C or 0D, which is 17 plus. Okay, so they're just bumping it up, I guess, a year. Silent Hill F is similarly rated mature in the US, PEGI 18 in Europe, and 0Z in Japan. And sorry if I'm not saying that right. I've never seen the rating system in Japan. I'll have to look into that. But as yet, there's no release date for Silent Hill F, and there's still no further information at all about No Code's upcoming Silent Hill Townfall. So, that game looks really, really interesting. And that would really give us a different type game. Hopefully, you know, if the story, I mean, it says the story, is just about pressure of expectations and stuff like that. I don't really know what that means. I'm pretty sure we'll get more information, you know, as time goes on, but I will be updating you guys on that game because it looks really, really interesting, and I'm interested in it. So I will definitely be keeping you guys in the know. But to answer your question, no, I haven't, but I can say I would prefer it over the Resident Evil. There's way too many of those. Hey, yo, I love it. Yeah, I guess I think I know a little more about Resident Evil than I do Silent Hill, and that's just because growing up, I used to just watch like gameplays of it. The only really thing I know about Silent Hill is the second one that they just released. Other than that, I don't know too much about it. Mm. Okay, we have a lot of things and not a lot of time, so let me figure out. That's why I said I missed last week, so I was like overload this week. I'm gonna see if I could pick out one that's better than the rest. I know we talked a lot about Dead by Daylight. You know, I'll kind of glide through this. I won't read the whole thing, but they did share some more screenshots of Five Nights at Freddy's and the Dead by Daylight collab, which looks really sick. Oh my gosh. I wonder if this is gonna be like actually how it looks in the game though, because it's an older game. I think these go crazy, like this one and this one. So a little more information about like the weapon and stuff. Springtrap uses a giant pizza knife as his primary weapon, and a fire axe for his power. It's the latter that players will find most useful, as it can be used as an AoE tool that reveals survivors to the killer. If a thrown is timed well enough, it can be lodged in another player's back, presenting an opportunity to trigger a Five Nights at Freddy's style jump scare if Springtrap is the one to remove it. That's crazy. Adding to behavior special sauce is the inclusion of Five Nights at Freddy's movie star Matthew Lillard, who provided his voice and likeness for those who pick up the animatronics Yellow Rabbit legendary outfit. Other outfits for Springtrap include the legendary Glitch Trap outfit and the very rare Clown Springtrap and Toxic Springtrap outfits, as well as Freddy Fazbear's t-shirts for the survivors. And here's some more pictures. They need to come out with more Five Nights at Freddy's games. That could be an unpopular opinion, but I just think Five Nights at Freddy's is so like OG, and it's such a good concept. The problem is, I feel like with the last one they did, they kind of like, it's not true to its core. It's more like, not open world, but like open concept, as opposed to the original one, where it's just like, okay, you're in this office and you have just limited things. Sometimes I feel like game companies make games too complicated when really all it needs to be is just like something simple, and it can make the game so fun, just like how the original Five Nights at Freddy's game was. Like I said, all you had to do was sit in the room, you have a few options, and it could still be really challenging, and it could still be very story driven, but it's not overly complicated, if that makes sense. So I hope that they can maybe at least try and do one more game like the original one. It does look creepy. Oh yeah, I figured I thought I missed last week. Oh no. I took a week off. Yes, I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's one thing I do want to talk about. The rest is gonna either have to be shelved till next week or just get scrapped. But there is one thing I do want to talk about, because I didn't know about this. I don't know how I missed it, but apparently PlayStation had a loyalty program. I didn't know anything about this, but so Sony has announced an end. Okay, well, you know what? Let me do this first, because this explains what it was, and then I'll talk about how it ended, I guess. A week without AK is a terrible week. 100. That's funny. Yeah, I missed you guys. I had to get back on this week. I'm like, I can't leave him hanging another week. But because I've been like so busy. But anyways, so let's watch this video and then we'll talk about what happened to it.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace Chen. Not long ago, we announced our brand new loyalty program called PlayStation Stars. It's designed to celebrate.
Girl, why are you frozen?
Not long ago, we announced our brand new loyalty program called PlayStation Stars. It's designed to celebrate
Come on.
you, the players. It will be free to join PlayStation Stars. As a member, you can complete various activities to earn points that can be redeemed for rewards. Digital collectibles are a highlight of the program. These are digital representations of things that PlayStation fans love. Today, I'm pleased to give you a sneak peek at some examples of our digital collectibles. Whether it's a beloved game character or a cherished device from Sony's innovative history, there will always be something new to collect and show off to your friends. And I have more good news. PlayStation Stars will begin to roll out in some regions in Asia starting in late September. It will launch in the Americas and Europe in the weeks that follow. That's it for now. Check PlayStation blog to learn more about PlayStation Stars.
So like, okay, it looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what the real benefit would have been besides these digital collectibles, which I don't really see a point for. But interesting, I guess, right? So it says Sony has announced an end to its PlayStation Stars loyalty program less than 3 years after its launch. 3 years after its launch? I've never seen this. I've never seen it. The reward program no longer accepts. Before I say that, I thought this was gonna be a thing that like it came out like early this year. They didn't like it and went away. The reward program no longer accepts new members as of today, and anyone leaving their membership now will be unable to rejoin, with reward points permanently deleted upon cancellation. Otherwise, existing members will continue to be able to earn points until July 23, 2025, and redeem any remaining balance until November 3rd, 2026. PlayStation Stars digital collectibles will remain accessible for the foreseen future despite the end of the program. Sony has said, meaning you can continue to look at your 3D digital models of Jim Ryan bobblehead for a good while longer. Since launching the program, we've learned a lot from evaluating these types of activities our players respond best to, and as a company, we're always evolving with players and industry trends. PlayStation Vice President of the Network Advertising, Loyalty, and Licensed Merchandise, Grace Chen, said in a statement on the PlayStation blog, through this evaluation, we have decided to refocus our efforts and will be winding down the current version of PlayStation Stars. We will continue to evaluate our key findings from the program and are looking into ways to build upon these learnings. No replacement for the program was mentioned, and it's not clear what Sony's finding from running PlayStation Stars might be. Yeah, I don't know the point of that. I don't know. Never heard of it. I don't know what that is. Yeah, they didn't say how it is really. It did look pretty cool. I mean, the digital items looked cool. I guess I just don't know, like, the point besides just looking at it. Definitely really mid, and that's an overstatement. Did you use it? Did you have, like, the program? Because, like I said, I've never even seen that thing. I'm surprised, because I usually stay pretty much in the know. But yeah, definitely doesn't seem like I missed much. But yeah, I think that's all I have time for today, you guys. I will probably talk about some of this other stuff next week, because some weeks there's like no news, and then I have to like figure out stuff to do. But yeah, I hope you guys have a greatly fantabulous week. I don't know if I'm gonna have a main video this week. I've been kind of slowing down on them for numerous reasons, but I do try to post like recaps from the live and stuff like that. So that will be on the channel, but main videos are going to be TBD going forward. But yeah, I hope you guys have a greatly fantabulous week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye guys, AK out.